Hello, I'm Father Marshall Shelley. I'm here with our weekly update at St. Peter's. I'm glad to be able to have some time with you today. I hope you're enjoying your day. It's warm outside today after some big thunderstorms went through, and things are growing, and we're grateful for the opportunity to have been able to have some rain, even if there was a little too much of it at times. I am coming today with a couple of things. One is an update on some of the things that are happening at St. Peter's, and the other is the good word for the day. So please bear with the update and then be with me for the word, because I'm excited about this one today. It's a good one. I'm pretty invested in it. So the updates are simple. Everything that you see below me in the e-news, please do review. If you don't get a chance to see the e-news, it's a great way to get to know St. Peter's is to sign up for it. You can do that through our website, and as well you can send me a message on our YouTube channel when you see this later, and I'll make sure you get connected to it. But a great opportunity to understand what's happening in the life and ministry and mission of Christ here at St. Peter's, and to feel that welcome home we seek to prefer to all, is to sign up for that e-news document. It comes through on Thursday. As soon as this is done, I will post that into the newsletter, and it'll go out and you'll be able to see it. Or actually, you're seeing it right now, so there you go. So what I would like to focus on are a couple things down below me. One is our summer fundraiser. We are holding a bracket challenge to name the song of the summer with God in the title. And there are a whole bunch of pop songs in that list that you can put a couple dollars in, and participate in a drawing. And then when the brackets are completed, we'll be handing out those raffle draws to folks, and they'll be able to win a prize. God willing, you'll be one of those, so take part in that. You can join that through our online giving platform, as well as continuing to support the church. And also, you can also take a look down below and join us in worship and fellowship. There are many opportunities for us to gather, and you can also continue to follow our Bible challenge through the New Ministry, New Paths blog that I maintain on behalf of the church. So my word for the day is a word that you don't hear often. Well, technically you hear it pretty often, but in the opposite version of what you normally would hear this word in context of. Because we are used to, when we see someone moving and living their life in such a way that they don't take into account the needs or the feelings of others, as being ruthless. So a ruthless person is someone who doesn't take others' feelings into account. Someone who is ruth, an old English, Middle English word, meaning to experience sympathy or to experience empathy, pity for the feelings and grief of another, is the word I'm asking you to hold today. One of the things that we are experiencing nowadays is a sense of privation in privacy. We are being literally deprived of contact with other people because we have to maintain isolation and social distancing. And so the default can be a falling into a lack of empathy and connection to the other. Because frankly, there's a lot going on in the world that sensitizes us and triggers us and makes us feel like things are out of our control. So our temptation is to pull back from that, to try to hold back some pieces of ourselves rather than to extend those, because by extending them, we experience Ruth on behalf of the world. We experience that sense of pity for the suffering of others. And it's not a good feeling. It doesn't feel good at all. So my challenge for you is actually to, instead of pushing that Ruth sense of being in a Ruth state away, embrace it. Understand that when we feel those feelings, when we experience that sense of connection to another person's suffering, we are not patronizing them, nor are we doing something less for ourselves. We're actually engaging in an essential piece of what it means to be human. We're tuning into each other's feelings. We're experiencing what another person feels. And if we're going to be authentic about it, we're putting aside some of our own stuff so we can actually be there for the other person. When I did chaplaincy training back in the day, one of the primary exercises that we learn as people who are providing pastoral care to others is that when we go into the room and have an encounter with someone who is in a place where they're suffering, they're in pain, or they're in distress, they are the center of the interaction as we engage them. It's not about how our day went. It's not about what's going on in our lives. It's about what they're going through. And the ability we have to experience that sense of Ruth with them is key and important. It's a very powerful word, that word. We don't use it enough. So I'm going to ask you guys to use it in the coming days, or at least rather than using it, practice it. Practice being in a position where you're able to experience sympathy, pity for the sufferings and grief of another. Connect to that. Understand that even when people are expressing anger and rage and frustration, or whether they're experiencing depression and withdrawal and that sense of just being in ennui and paralysis, everyone is experiencing a sense of grief over the losses that we've experienced in the last few months, over the crises that we've had to embrace and work our way through, over the shifting paradigms that all of the understandings and practices that we've been able to make use of in the past have eroded around us. And there's a lot going on that we need to be connected to in ourselves and really to each other as we all experience these feelings. But each one of us is experiencing those feelings as individuals, even as we go through them in community. So to be able to experience pity and connection and pathos for the suffering of another person, for the grief of another person, is really truly an essential element of what it means to walk in Christ today. So I challenge you today to embrace that sense of Ruth in your life, and understand that we have an opportunity in that practice to be more profoundly connected to each other and to God. I bid you peace and grace, and may this be a blessed weekend for all. God take you care and be well on this Independence Day weekend. Bye-bye.